Okay, so these are my projects. We did five. The first one was the number guessing game, where the computer thinks of a random number but doesn't tell the player, and the player has to guess it. If the player is wrong, the computer tells the player if they're too high or too low. For rock paper scissors, it was a similar concept. The computer just randomly comes up with rock paper scissors, and the player has to enter in rock paper scissors, and the computer tells them how they did. Then we had a choose your own adventure game, where the computer presents the player with a scenario and gives the player two choices. Depending on which choice the player takes, the computer, the next scenario, the computer, depending on which option the player chooses, the next scenario the computer presents the player with is different, and the choices are also different. We did a restaurant menu where there are a few menus, and the computer provides the customer with them in order, and the customer has to choose stuff, and then the computer adds it with tax and tip. And then we had turtle drawings, which are just there. It's not a game. It's just a drawing. We just program it to make a design using loops. So one of my favorites was the menu, so this is what the rest of it is about. There were several menus in the restaurant: appetizers, kids entrees, regular entrees, and sides and desserts. So the computer gives you the menu and asks you if you want to order it, because you don't have to order an appetizer. And then you tell them what you want to order, and they remember it, and at the end they tell you what your total is. So to keep track of all the menus, there's a separate dictionary for each. There's an appetizer dictionary and an entree dictionary, and so on and so forth, and they're all separated by they're all inside of curly brackets and separated by commas. The first menu is appetizers, and the computer asks you if you'd like to order. And the way you ask a question is response equals input, open parentheses, quotation marks, would you like to order, close parentheses, because the computer tells, because this tells the computer the response is what the player is about to input. So that way that computer can recognize response as a variable, and that way they can compare the variable to possible options that you've already put into the code, like yes or no, so that they know if they can move on. There's another variable, plate, which it recognizes whether the customer's order is an option at the restaurant, in case the customer puts something like stupid or wrong. And you do that by using an if-then statement. There's another input, where it's what after you answer yes to would you like to order, it's what would you like to order. And if you put some in, and it can recognize if it's in the menu by using an if-then statement. If parentheses plate in appetizers in the dictionary, close parentheses. And and I use the commands break and continue, because you use break when you just want to move on to the next menu. Like if the player says no, I don't want anything from this menu, or no, I don't want anything else, then they just move on to the next one. And I use continue. If the player answers something wrong, you have to ask them again. Or if the player wants more food, then you just repeat the same menu. And then to test it and to test everything. So most of the mistakes I made were just formatting errors, like forgetting to indent or forgetting a quotation mark or using the wrong parentheses. But if I were to do the project again, I would make it so that when it asks you to input an answer, the space for you to write it is on a separate line. Because a lot of times when you fill out the order, people will on instinct put a space so that the words aren't mashed together. But if you do, then it won't recognize that because it just won't, because the response is yes or no. And I would also make more if-then statements, possibilities, so that if the customer capitalizes it differently, then it would still respond. And then I have to demonstrate it. I don't know. And this is the menu. So if you say no, it just moves on to the next one. But if you say yes, it asks you what you want. So you can say what you want. Should I like fill it out? Because it's gonna take a while. Okay. And then at the end it tells you your total, which is, well, it tells you everything that your total is $22.68, and then it asks you how much you'd like to tip. So if I put 5, then it adds $5 to my total, and that's it.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for her? All right, awesome. Let's give it a round of applause.